ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
The Lincoln Tech fall season keeps rolling right along as we've reached the final few races of our summer stretch, and race 3 of the Invets Xfinity Series closes out our 3rd week of competition right here, right now, on V-Speed. And as always, we have to thank our sponsors for making all of this possible. Thank you to Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. To Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And to Save 22, struggling, let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lanke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We've got Eddie Smith in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
Well, Jacob, that was a heck of an intro there. We're obviously here at Darlington. I'm really looking forward to it. We talked about it before. It's both of one of our favorite tracks being here at the Lady in Black. Last week we had a heck of a race in California, so I'm kind of hoping that we have that kind of action here tonight. We had a really clean race in California last week. I think Cofield was our winner last week, so he's looking to defend that title here again tonight here at Darlington. And yeah, so if they put on another great show, I'm going to be very excited. As we look here at our schedule here, we're like I said, we're at our 3rd race here at Darlington. Next week, we're on a flat track. We're going to do Milwaukee and then on to the road course. And then we're going to continue on with the ovals all the way to Atlanta, where we will crown a champion at that point. So what do you think about this schedule, Jacob?
I think it's going to be one heck of a ride from start to finish. But tonight, the track Too Tough to Tame is our destination tonight, a longtime favorite for stock car fans young and old, Darlington Raceway. The 1.36-mile asymmetrical oval off Harrybird Highway has been a staple in both real-life and goat locker competition and promises to give us a show at any point in the season. Who will be the one to survive a dance with the Lady in Black?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. You know, there'll be a lot of close quarter action. These cars are a little bit slippery, especially on the opening laps until they get their tires warmed up. I went out there and did a couple laps with them earlier today, and yeah, we're in for some excitement. Another thing I noticed is we're doing this late in the day towards sunset, so we'll have to take a watch out for turn 3 as these guys enter turn 3. There's going to be quite a glaring globe sitting in their windshield as they enter that corner and try to make passes happen.
once everybody gets their tires heated up, I imagine the sliding is going to stop a little bit. But the exit of turn 2, entry of turn 3 is where we're probably going to see a majority of our stack ups tonight.
Yeah, so why don't we talk about our race analysis? So we are going to do 100 laps here at Darlington tonight. The pit road speed, of course, is 45 miles an hour. These guys will have 4 sets of tires available to them. That includes the set that they start on, 2 green-white checker attempts, which I always hope we don't need, 100% fuel with an iRacing fix setup. So every car out there, whether it's Chevy, Ford, Toyota, or whatever it is, are all running the same setup. So it's all about driver skill tonight.
Yep, and there's been no shortage of that showcased over the start of this season. We got Jonathan Cofield currently sitting with the he's in one of the hottest times that he's set so far tonight. We're taking a look at Lucas Lyons setting one of his first laps. Yep, running around 3 and 4. Currently sitting 22nd in the time chart here.
Yeah, you mentioned Lucas
on board.
Mentioned Lucas Lyons and also mentioned Cofield, who's sitting first in points right now. Won last week's race. We watched Lucas drop to the apron, probably completed that lap, but it was exciting at California. Like I said, Cofield is going to be looking to get another win here tonight as we're watching Kaufman go around, try to get a qualifying lap in that number 25, that red and yellow machine. He gets loose, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. These tires are very sketch for the first couple of laps, so these guys will have to, obviously, when we take the green flag, be very careful and get these cars around very gingerly.
You saw that diamond line he was trying to take into the corner. That's the preferred line around here once everybody gets single file, but he just cooked it a little bit through the exit of 1 into 2, and it just rotated around on him. He got it saved, and it looks like he's trying to pick up the pace for another lap here. Let's ride on board, see if he's able to hit that line. You see where everybody's been running the darkened spot in the track there from all that rubber. He got a good exit off of 2, taking it all the way back down the backstretch. Lets off right at his mark, keeps it in 4th, wrapping around through 3 and 4, gets on the gas back as he's exiting turn 4. Let's see where he puts it.
So he only climbed up a couple positions there to 25th, it looks like, Jacob. So, yeah, he had a tough run, and that having that little bit of a failure there on the outlap there probably really cost him. But anyway, we're about to set these guys. We're about to grid the field here. So why don't you take it away, Jacob, there, and we'll get our starting grid.
Yes, sir. Qualifying has finished up, and a familiar face is going to receive our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award, and that would be the 53 of Jonathan Cofield. That's last week's winner. Craig Bontrager put himself into the conversation late last week. He'll roll off in 2nd. Joseph McWhorter starts 3rd place with his teammate Mark Whitley to his outside. Lucas Lyons in the 17, we were just riding along with him, puts it 5th with Judson Curtis in the 29, rolling off 6th. Zachary Tucker in the 1 and Brandon Wallace in the 99 clear out row 4. And Jamie Lipke and Duncan Faw round out your starting top 10.
In row 6, we got Dave Calvert on his outside with George Jewell in that 36 car. On the inside, Tyler Rice will start in 13th. On the outside, Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner will start in 14th. On the inside, Chad Ashley will start with Jason Kristen on his outside in 16th. Stephen Davis will start in 17th with Brock Price on his outside in 18th. Kyle Deering will start in the 19th position with Devontae Drain starting in 20th.
21st is our Talladega winner, Frederick Seagraves. He'll start to the inside of Aaron Yancey. Samuel Yosef starts 23rd with Casey Jones in the 34 to his outside. James Kaufman, we rode along his lap on the 25 position. Bobby Bender to his outside. Thaddeus Friel in the 27th position with Jeremiah Holt in 28th. And then Ricky Sisk Jr. and Kevin Price clear out the top 30.
Colton Sisk will start in 31st with Alan Smith on his outside starting in 32nd. Scotty Yancey will start in the 33rd position, and Daniel Parks, the last guy to put a qualifying time in, will start in 34th. In 37th, qualifying by their iRating number will be Rob Kubat. And then on his outside will be Chuck Phelps. And then starting in the 35th position will be Noah Hogard with Gary Wright on his outside. And that wraps up your 36-car field for tonight at Darlington.
Just not unlike the first 2 races that we saw. It is an absolutely packed field for tonight. This is going to be quite the show.
It is, and like I said, I'm a little worried about the cold tires right now. Like I said, I was out on the track, and you can see the sun as we're watching this beautiful camera view of these cars going down the front stretch. You can see the sun is getting low in the sky. Turn 3 is going to be absolutely bearish for probably the first 20 laps getting into this thing before the sun sets behind those trees. We won't have a night race here, but it'll probably get shadowy, and so these guys are going to have a hard time getting into turn 3. And like I said, with the cold tires, I'm a little nervous right now, Jacob.
Let those nerves just fade away as we get ready to get going at the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame. This is my favorite track to watch. It's my favorite oval. And I think that we're going to have a heck of a show tonight. Pace car's lights are off, pulls down into pit road, and we are rolling.
And then
Green flag at Darlington.
That was an awesome start there, Jacob. They're side by side going into one. I watched Cofield Bontrager side by side into one. Very tricky to do, as you can see the whole field going by side. Looks like Cofield gets it stretched out a little bit, takes the lead, got Bontrager McWhorter right behind him.
Yep, everybody's starting to try and straighten it out as soon as they can here. Seeing some contact back in the back of the field toward the on the backstretch. Jonathan Cofield stretching it out. He's going to lead lap 1 as they wrap it around turn 4.
Yeah, everybody doing a great job. Very impressive start for these guys. The best in Goat Locker. You're watching it right now. Very impressed as they get it all down single file. And it's kind of like what you want to do here at Darlington is race the track, not your opponents. And as soon as you get a little... Oh, there, we got a car in the back. A couple cars going sideways. Oh, big calamity.
Judson Curtis in the 29 was the first one that went off. We're still piling in. Massive carnage at the exit of turn 2 as we are under yellow on lap 2 here at Darlington.
Oh, tough break for a lot of guys back there. That collected probably half the field there. It looked like something happened there with the 82. We're going to go back and take a look and see where this all started.
Yeah, we're watching up top. We're taking a look at we're looking at the 1. That's going to be Zachary Tucker. If he just clips the wall, he was taking that line just a little too far out, tries to get it collected, but it pulled him back up the track, clipped the 61 of Duncan Fawn. It was just chaos as everybody tried dodging out of the way, everybody backing it down. 34.96 backed it down, didn't make contact with anyone in there. They just hit the inside wall trying to keep themselves out of it.
Yeah, and just ahead of them in that camera view, you can see the 29 of Judson Curtis. So it was almost a spin in unison. So Judson Curtis also went around just ahead of him there on the backstretch. So 2 cars spinning at the same time with much of the back half of the field with nowhere to go as we ride along with Aaron Yancey.
Aaron Yancey, he looks like he might have clipped the wall a little bit with the rear end here. He sees the carnage unfolding in front of him. All that smoke makes it look like a track blocker. Oh, I think he might have had a premature brake failure there. Like, he's looking like directly at the guy in front of him, and I'm sure that he's trying to hit the brakes, but nothing happened.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're coming off the corner there. You know, if you slam on the brakes too hard, especially if you got a lot of brake bias in there, it just sends you around, and you know, it's just a tough position to be in there. And again, these guys are dealing with the sun, and I don't know if you noticed it when they came around with that camera view, looking at his car, you can see that sunlight is starting to really light up that windshield.
It's pretty rough right now. Well, we're under pacing. We've had our first caution at Darlington. We've had quite a few people end up taking their fast repair here. A few more still taking it down the pit lane to try and get that damage fixed. And
a lot of those cars that were involved in that took quite severe damage. It isn't one of those times where you can go and get that thing beat out. I think that I've seen a lot of wheels come off cars and hoods, and a lot of guys, like you said, are going to be using that fast repair. So they get one fast repair tonight. So pretty much everybody that's gone on the pit lane is going to have to suffer racing the rest of the night without a single mistake. And of course, they're going to be restarting in the back where anything can happen. And it looks like those are the only cars that actually went to pit lane are those cars with damage.
And we got 7 cars sitting a lap down trying to get damage fixed after taking that. We've had a few cars showing up having taken their fast repair. Yep, the fast repair used by the 20. That is Aaron Yancey. We got Devontae Drain. Frederick Seagraves, our winner, but he doesn't have anything to worry about because he's already got that win locked in. And then the 29 of Judson Curtis, who qualified up in the top 10.
Well, we are double file again as they go down the backstretch. We're about to go green flag racing. We got Jonathan Cofield who'll continue to lead this thing. Joseph McWhorter on his outside in second. Lucas Lyons down there on the inside in the 17 car will start in third. Craig Bontrager will start there in fourth with Mark Whitley rounding out your top 5 as we get ready to take this thing green again.
Yep, and that's what McWhorter doesn't want to see. He got bandits back to back on the bottom line, ready to help each other into one. Pace car getting ready to pull off once again. Double file all the way back, and we are getting ready once again to go green flag racing here at Darlington. Now, I'm going to get that timing eventually.
Well, Cofield is led him to turn 1. They all get single file almost immediately. There's a couple cars just behind there. We got a couple side-by-side actions, but these guys want to get this thing single file and focus on the track.
Yep, Lucas Lyons managed to squeeze his way in front of McWhorter there. It looked like McWhorter was going to try and make a move onto the backstretch, nothing doing. He's got to the inside of the 17 of Lucas Lyons as we wrap around to complete lap 6.
Yeah, you can see McWhorter down on the inside as they come down the front stretch. Got a little bit of an advantage as they go into 1, but no, he's going to back off smartly as that 17 had a little bit more car in front going into 1.
Yep, Lucas Lyons taking that position whole hog. Oh, Jonathan Cofield clips the wall. We got one loose on the exit of turn 2. That's Brandon Wallace in the 99.
Yeah, does a great job holding on to that as he's losing some positions right now, a couple of positions. You can see him trying to gang up on the outside as we ride along with him there in his rig, along with Brandon Wallace right now in that Chevy Camaro.
Yep, he's got one hand on the wheel and one hand on a shifter, I would imagine. It's one of the ways that you can run this track. You can run it entirely in fourth gear, like you've seen a few different times. We were watching some drivers in qualifying do that, but you can downshift in some of the cars that you can run on the platform. As he's just going to disprove me completely and run 3 and 4 in fourth gear.
Well, that's because he's watching the stream. You know, that's how the commentator's curse happens too. Is, you know, you got these guys racing and watching the broadcast at the same time. I still don't know how they do it. As you can see, I'm right up against the wall in 2 and 3, and that's the preferred line. As you go right up against the wall. Pretty much when you get to 3 and 4, though, I like to. It's kind of wide open. Some guys will dime in the corner. Some guys will run it up high. Some guys will run it down low. It's kind of, you can mix that turn up. It's actually one of the corners I'm a lot more comfortable running side by side versus 1 and 2.
Yep, 3 and 4, you're wanting to back it down a lot more because it's tighter. It's a lot more of a, it's a lot more narrow than the turns 1 and 2 where you can sweep it a little bit. You can push up, get that diamond, and get that exit into turn 2. As we got a very special view going on tonight. We're looking at the VR view from Kevin Price as he's got a car in the wall right in front of him. It looks like you can see the helmet cam here. It's something out of like a real life car. Oh, looked like he got a little bit sideways there. There's a car still in the wall. It looks like that's Colton Sisk trying to keep it straight as they go down the front straightaway.
Well, you know, put the perfect time to put the camera on this guy as he gets around a couple cars, going through 1 and 2 right now, dropping to the bottom, back to the outside. You can see that sun in his view. That sun is getting really low. These guys are going to have to fight that. And when they're racing for position going into 3, that's going to be quite challenging here in the next 10 minutes or so.
It's an awesome view. It's something that illustrates just how hard the guys have to deal with this sort of thing in real life. He's got a car to his inside, the 98. He watches it push up into him. I think the 80 might have some wheel damage after that one. That was a pretty hard clap into turn 1.
Yeah, and he's losing even more positions as 00 Alan Smith goes by. It looks like Samuel Yosef all going by. That looks like that Ford Mustang's got quite a bit of damage.
Yep, if not right front, just the full right side of that car, and he's just trying to keep it together at this point.
You know, Jacob, one of the things. Well, I'm sorry. One of the things I was going to mention about 1 and 2 is, you know, earlier I'd mentioned that I think it was McWhorter that gave up trying to take it too wide, and that's kind of a smart move for 1 and 2. And like I said, 3 and 4 you can race side by side. But Darlington, it shows a lot of respect when these guys figure out who's leading, who's going to lead it into turn 1, and just let the guy that's got the advantage go ahead and take turn 1 rather than try to challenge each other going through that very complex corner.
If you've got a lot of experience, or if you're very comfortable running side by side with people, you can try and take the bottom into 1 and 2 with somebody to the outside taking the preferred line. It's early in the race. You don't want to push your luck too fast, too far this early. We're only going to hit lap 15 as Cofield takes the stripe here. But we're riding alongside with Joseph McWhorter. That's who we saw give the position up to Lucas Lyons earlier. Oh, he might just get it back right here as Lyons clips the wall exiting turn 1.
Yeah, Lucas, he got a little slippery up there, got up against the wall right up top as they go into 3, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, dealing with that sun. That building shadowed him, and let's see if McWhorter can get the run out of 4 here as he drops to the bottom. He does have a little bit of a run, but I don't know if it's enough to challenge going into 1.
I think he's not going to... I think he's just going to wait for Lyons to make another mistake here into turn 1. He backs it off, waits for Lyons to push up into the corner, and he's going to continue that run, dragging it all the way back through to the exit of turn 2. He's going to make a move here on the exit of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Yeah, and I think McWhorter's doing the smart thing, just letting Lucas wear out his tires, ride behind him. And you can see he doesn't want to push the issue here. This is Darlington. Very smart heads-up driving. Gets down on the inside, going across the front stretch here. They are side by side. McWhorter's got the advantage. Will Lucas let him have it going into 1? I think he will.
I don't think he's going to let him have it for long as Lucas tries to switch it back. He's gonna pull, just sit right behind Joseph McWhorter as the 72 takes a position.
Yeah, speaking of another guy just behind Lucas Lyons there, Mark Whitley showing himself into the picture right now, and that's a teammate of McWhorter. McWhorter just got by Lucas Lyons, and now you can see Whitley in the 77 slowly creeping into the picture, running in 4th place.
Whitley was enjoying that entire battle the 72 and 17 were having because he didn't have to do anything. He's just running his line and watching these two guys fight for the position and just drag him right back to him. So now, hey, he's going to look for that 3rd position. He's going to take it all his own.
Yeah, well, and you can see here he goes. Now Lucas is back under threat. He's got Whitley now to contend with as they go through 3 and 4 here. Whitley a little bit higher, maybe trying to diamond this thing down to the bottom, get some run off the bottom, get side by side in the front stretch and try to get that advantage into 1, which is the thing you need to do here. Lucas is going to challenge on the outside, goes in there very hard, does a great job so far. There he goes up against the wall. That's the punishment you get for running it in that hard up high. And you can see Whitley drops down, makes that pass easily after that mistake that Lucas Lyons just made.
Clipped the exit of turn 2, made contact with the 77, and I think that 17 is going to be limping here.
Yeah, and you can see now the 17 is going to fall under threat from Bontrager now, so probably a little bit of damage. I don't think he hit the wall too hard, but that definitely slowed him up, and now he's under threat with a couple other guys as he's got Bontrager and Jeremy Gardner, who we haven't talked about tonight, just behind him now, looking to take advantage of Lucas Lyons out there struggling a little bit.
I have not been around Goat Locker for a very long time. I would say it's been about a year and a few months. But I wouldn't classify very many people as specialists when it comes to specific tracks. I would think when you think Nashville, if you've been around Goat Locker for a long time, you would think Jake Ellingson or Patrick Drabick. When you think Darlington here in Goat Locker, you think the 69 of Jeremy Gardner. He has participated in more races throughout this. Oh, I guess there's a commentator's curse right there. He makes contact with the exit at turn 2. He might have some damage here because he is significantly slower on the exit here.
Well, that's what I call pulling a Lucas Lyons or an Eddie Smith. If it was road course racing, I would call that an Eddie Smith. But he just pulled a Lucas Lyons with the same thing Lucas Lyons did earlier. And Jeremy Gardner now falls back a couple positions.
Yep, Gardner, if there is anybody that knows how to dig himself out of a hole like this, it is probably going to be Jeremy Gardner, because we're probably going to end up seeing him up at the front toward the end of this thing, as he is now under threat from the 06 of Tyler Rice, who's made the narrow entry into turn 3, trying to ride that bottom to get back to him.
And we're looking at a camera feed of Tyler Rice there just behind Jeremy Gardner, as Jeremy Gardner got a little bit of better exit there as he pulled away just a little bit. I think Jeremy Gardner is changing his shorts right now, got those shorts changed and trying to make another attempt to the front. But we're riding along with Tyler Rice as he's focusing, and there's that sun, that brutal sun, and you can see just ahead of him Jeremy Gardner working on Lucas Lyons just ahead. We're watching it from Tyler Rice's windshield here. Lucas Lyons up high, Jeremy Gardner down low. Jeremy Gardner will complete the pass, and let's see if Tyler Rice can make a run on Lucas Lyons here.
Yep, Lyons must have burned his stuff up trying to fight up at the front so long as he did. He's going to try and go all the way to the bottom, wrap the top of the corner. He's going to clip the wall a little bit. That's not going to take a lot out of his run. He's going to dip it back all the way down. Rice is going to ride in right behind him. He's not going to make a move yet. We'll see if he does into 3.
Yeah, I have a feeling Lucas's tires are really hot right now, and a little bit of damage. Right up there, right up against that quarter. And you can see Lucas trying to hold him down there, trying to defend that position, but that's probably why his tires are getting eaten up right now at this moment, trying to hold on those positions too hard. This is one of those tracks I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. You got to race the track. If you're not racing the track, you are going to chew those Goodyears right off that car. Yep,
and Tyler Rice decided better of it because there was a lap car that was pulling back to him right just then. The 17 to Lucas Lyons is continuing to hold that position. You got Brandon Wallace behind, and Kevin Price is going to be in that's Brock Price in the top, going to round out your top 10 here.
So we're still, we got another car almost in the wall. That looks like Lucas Lyons. It is under threat with Tyler Rice. We were just talking about him there. Tyler Rice still behind him, coming by the lap cars here. Let's see if that's Scott Yancey, I believe it is, as they go by. But anyway, you can see Tyler Rice putting all kinds of pressure there. That's the 12 car of, I don't know who that is. But anyway, we got a side.
That's Ricky Sisk Jr. as they're getting past it. 17 still heavily under fire from the 06 as we got some more dancers here to the party. The 99 of Brandon Wallace. You got the 49 of Brock Price in the top 10 trying to fight for this position here, and I don't think Lucas is going to have very much to fight against all these at once.
Yeah, Lucas seems to be the slow car. After 5 cars, he's supposed to let the traffic pass, as they say, out on the normal highway. But under all kinds of pressure there from Lucas Lyons is under from Tyler Rice, who were just in his car. Tyler Rice now trying to get the advantage as they go into one. They're going to go almost side by side. Lucas defends that position. Let's see if he can keep it off the wall this time. Does have a little bit more momentum, but you can see that Valvoline machine of Tyler Rice coming back in that Ford Mustang. See if he can get the run going into 3 into Sunshine Corner here, and the heavy into the brake area, and you can see him down on the apron side by side going through 4. And it looks like Tyler Rice might have this car clear. Give that position to Tyler Rice.
It's only a matter if Lucas can hold off the cars that are charging on behind him. He had to back out a little bit there so he didn't make contact with Rice, and it lets the 99 pass as well. The 54 is going to make a shot at him right now. That is Chad Ashley in the 54 machine trying to track down the 17 of Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, a lot of good racing. You know, we were kind of worried at the top of the broadcast, at least I was. You were a lot more optimistic that we were going to see a lot of green flag action. We're actually seeing some great racing out here at Darlington. Again, we got another battle for position going on here with the 54 down on the inside, looking at Lucas Lyons, seeing if Chad Ashley can get a position on Lucas. Lucas is back to defending, it looks like. Doesn't want to let too many more of these positions go.
Yep, another slight contact with the wall, another loose exit at turn 2. Chad Ashley dives it to the bottom. 17 backing it up on the top side. He's going to fight for this position to keep it, and it looks like Ashley's going to get himself clear. Is the 17 going to try and pull to the bottom? He gets blocked off by the 43. Nothing doing, and now the 43 is going to try and take the position from the 17.
Yeah, that's Brock Price, and Brock Price is down there putting lots of pressure now on Lucas Lyons. We've been on Lucas Lyons for a while now because he seems to be the center of attention here at Darlington. As Brock Price, just behind Brock Price, seen a car get into the wall there a little bit. That was Stephen Davis back there in the 09, but we're still here on Brock Price, seeing if he can do anything with Lucas Lyons right now, as Lucas Lyons is still trying to defend that position as they come out of turn 4.
Yep, Brock Price trying to make a move on the 17. I got a little bit of a gripe here. It's the middle of September. It's not even halfway through September. Why does he have a Halloween scheme on?
I don't know. You go to
It's
Walmart
a month and a half
nowadays.
away.
Walmart's got all their Halloween stuff on. So Brock Price, it looks like he's going to get this position. Got a little loose off the exit of that turn, but had momentum. It looks like he really wanted by the 17. I almost feel like the 17 is just starting to let these positions go. He knows that he might be out of tires. And with 100% fuel, I think these guys can only do about 60 laps. And we are 33 laps, so they're about halfway through their fuel run. And Darlington does eat tires.
Yep, he certainly looks to have burned his stuff up. As he's got Lucas Lyons has 2 lap cars behind him to the next position. Well, we're going to take a look at our leader. Jonathan Cofield has stepped out to about a 2-second lead over Joseph McWhorter and Mark Whitley. He is kind of just stepped out, just kind of casually strolling, making the exits of turns 1 and 2. He's trying not to push it as much as he needs. He wants to push it as much as he needs to, not as much as he can, because he's just trying to wait it out right now.
Yeah, and I can tell you, when you're running up front like that, it's kind of the best place you can be at Darlington because you can control how you're getting through the corners and your tire management. But one of the things you can't control is the lap traffic, and Darlington's such a tough track. As you can see him working now, he's got looks like I want to say Kevin Price just ahead of him there. And every time he comes up to a car there, he's got to be very careful because some of these drivers have already had struggles during this race. Damage, and any one of them can hit the wall and ruin your race pretty quickly if you're not careful.
Yep, he was enjoying that toe off of the 80 of Kevin Price, but now he's got to be all alone up front with that clean air as McWhorter and Whitley are going to try and track them down with the 2 lap cars in between.
Yeah, so I imagine it's going to be tough to say. It's going to be who's going to play chicken. If we stay green, we're 36 laps into this race. If we stay green, how many people are going to head to pit lane? As we're currently watching the 21st position of Samuel Yosef head to pit lane in the 35 car. And it looks like he's going to take 4 tires in fuel. That might be his strategy for the night, is go ahead and get that thing knocked out and hope for a caution. But, man, he's going to go at least 1 or 2 laps down for pitting.
Yep, it'll take him 1 lap down. It looks like what he's doing, because you said the fuel run's going to be about 60 laps, he's trying to get the fuel in now as opposed to trying to chance it later. But I don't think his tires are going to... If he runs it conservatively, I don't think his tires are going to hold out toward the end of that run. I'm curious to find out what the deal is on this, because he may just be waiting for a caution. He's going to have to try and fight him. Like, he's going to fight his way back up to try and get to be the first car a lap down on this one. And he is currently sitting in 23rd, 2 laps down. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, that's fine. But what I was getting ready to say is as we approach lap 50, which is the halfway point, which would be a normal time to maybe take tires, as we're watching a battle here, it looks like that's the 69 car, Jeremy Gardner. Got a lot of cars now. Jeremy Gardner right there in that black 69 car, working on the 36 car of George Jewell right now. But anyway, as I was getting ready to say is we're coming up to the halfway point, and it's going to be, a game of chicken who's going to pit first, because there's always a risk. You come into pit lane at the halfway point, and then the caution comes out, and you get put a lap down for no fault of your own. Anyways, we're right along with Jeremy Gardner, trying to get a position from that 36 machine of George Jewell just ahead of him as they exit turn 2 here, looking down the sunny backstretch, headed towards 3.
I don't think he's trying to fight for the position here. I think they're just trying to ride together. These 2 are teammates with the Save 22 team. We got a caution. We got a yellow on the racetrack. There's a bit of a wreck up front. Kevin Price looks like he is towed to the pits as the 71 of Daniel Parks gets it righted and pulls it back down the front stretch.
Oh.
Whoa.
And just trying to get that car back onto the racetrack. It was almost another incident there. You can see the 71 down on the apron. Well, that throws that strategy out the window that I was talking about, Jacob. So these guys will be able to come in and get 4 fresh Goodyear and fuel. But let's see what happened here.
The 34 looks like he's going slow. Might be exiting pit road here. Or he's just like holding it slow down to the bottom of the track. Oh, here we are. Yeah, the 54.
Yeah, that 54 got up against the wall. It slowed him down, and that left the car behind him. It looks like that is
That's the 09 to Stephen Davis.
just left him nowhere to go. Stephen Davis just had nowhere to go as he was trying to pull that car down off the wall.
Made his exit off of turn 4, and we're riding along with Stephen Davis right now. The 54 pushes up into the corner, trying to take that top line exit. And as he exits the corner, he just gets loose on exit, pushes it up into the outside wall, and there was nowhere for the 54 to go down to the bottom because the nose of the 09 was there.
Well, everybody's headed to pit lane, so Jonathan Cofield will lead everybody down pit lane. We'll see who beats who off pit lane as these guys are looking to get those tires and this thing fueled up to complete this race.
Yep, Pied Piper down pit lane. We're seeing some lap cars take the wave around there to the outside, just making sure that they're getting themselves back into a position to fight for some good points here tonight. Cofield takes to his pit box, as do everybody else in the top 5 right here. We're looking at the top 4 running right now. They're working on their pit stops.
That's a nice nice ticker there, Jacob, on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see it looks like Cofield's going to beat him off. Almost didn't do it. McWhorter almost there and almost beat him. Identical pit stop times. Whitley with an incredible stop with a 14.2, the fastest guy of the top 6, it looks like, off pit road.
Yep, half a second better than the 2 that were in front of him, but it still puts him in that 3rd position as Jonathan Cofield wins the race off pit road.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Well, you know, since we got a moment here, why don't we talk about one of our sponsors, Jacob? Let's talk about Lincoln Tech. Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior, see, I can't talk tonight either, but Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supporting, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding to value to their communities. They're the largest automotive technology, one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the Spring Series and a very large partner of Goat Locker Racing. Lincoln Tech.
Yep, they were the sponsor of the Spring Series. They're the sponsor of the Fall Series that we got running
They're
right now.
They're sponsor of a lot of series here in Goat Locker.
Yep, the IndyCar Series running on Tuesday. They're just a massive overarching partner of everybody with the organization, with the nonprofit going. They had the car show. There was expos going on throughout the year, and they've been a huge supporter of Goat Locker through and through.
Well, we are too wide. The lights are out atop the Mustang, and we're about to go green flag. Jacob, why don't you take it away?
Pace car is in, and we are stacked up 2 by 2, getting ready to get it back going. Green flag back at Darlington. It looked like we lost the 77 of Mark Whitley there. He dropped back a little bit further. Jonathan Cofield and Joseph McWhorter stretching out the lead once again from the front of the field.
Yeah, not sure what happened to him, but we're watching Cofield out. They get single filed. McWhorter just behind him. Craig Bontrager back there in 3rd. Just an awesome race. We're looking at McWhorter now putting pressure on Cofield. This is the first time we've seen Cofield with any pressure. It looks like McWhorter wants that position, and he wants it now.
Yep, McWhorter doesn't want Cofield to step out like he did again. He wants to put as much pressure on that 53 as possible to get him up there and not lose sight of that lead.
As they head down to the backstretch, they're all single file, just about behind him, back behind him. I thought there was going to be an incident. It looks like they keep it, but McWhorter on the outside, trying to take the outside lane. This is the nice thing about 3 and 4. There's a couple different lines you can run, as he'll still fall in behind. Try the crossover going into 1. Nope, no doing.
Yep, held the momentum, taking the top, tried to cross it over to the bottom, nothing doing. Everybody down the front stretch into 1 and 2, keeps it clean. McWhorter exits a half a lane further down, and he looks like he's not going to have as much of a run as he needed to on Cofield as the 53 holds the lead here.
Yeah, Cofield's probably saying, dang, I wish that that caution hadn't came out, because I haven't felt this kind of pressure in quite a few laps. But now he's going to have to race, and we'll see if McWhorter's got anything for him. Like you said, Jacob, I think you're correct. I think McWhorter just doesn't want him to escape, and maybe try to put some pressure on him and get him to burn up his tires a little bit, and maybe that way he can get that green and black machine around him.
Yep, McWhorter's still holding him within 2/10 of Cofield's back bumper there. Taking that top line through 3 and 4 once again. Cofield crosses back to the top. McWhorter wrapping to the bottom. Looks like he got a little loose there. Cofield gets another Darlington stripe, and we're all square heading into turn 1 once more.
Yeah, McWhorter got on that apron a little bit. It kind of de-wedged the car a little bit. He got a little loose, and he's taking the line I like to run here at Darlington for 3 and 4. Oh, McWhorter, he's back. That's a connection issue, folks. Sometimes we have to deal with this. McWhorter's hoping that his connection will hold up here. It should clean up, and it looks like it has. And back on the back bumper there of Cofield.
Yep, he's holding it back to the he's holding it back to the back of Cofield once again, still continuing to hold it within 2/10 of a second. If he blinks out again, I think Cofield might try and start calling for it's like, hey, this guy keeps blinking out. I don't think I can, like, I don't feel comfortable running like this. You need to do something. Just reach out to race control. Maybe, like, give himself a little more of an advantage here.
Well, last build with iRacing, they did come out with that connectivity black flag. So a lot of times if the connection gets bad enough, what it'll do is it'll send you to pit lane. And I can tell you that McWhorter doesn't want to see that happen. But if his connection gets bad enough, iRacing will automatically send him to pit lane until that connection gets cleaned up. But it looks like it's clean right now. Look at that sun. Oh, you can't even see the car in front of him. And that was just for a split second. I imagine we're only about 5 minutes from that sun being gone, but that 5 minutes is going to be brutal on these guys.
Yeah, that's half your windshield as we see the 72 start to close in on the 53, exiting turn 4 here down the front stretch. We are officially halfway done with this race. As of now, Jonathan Cofield still taking that top line through 1 and 2.
Yeah, these guys are knocking it down. We're looking at that 72, seeing if he's going to put any pressure. Kind of took a peek there on the backstretch, but said no. And like I said, Jacob, I think you're right. Just biding his time there. Keep the pressure on. Let him burn up his equipment. Cofield hasn't felt any pressure up until this past caution, so they're going down the front stretch here, still keeping it single file.
Speaking of pressure, this is the only pressure these two are going to have between each other, because they've stepped out to a 2.5 second lead over the third place car of Greg Bontrager, who's fighting with Jeremy Gardner for third.
Yeah, and Jeremy Gardner was able to probably get some of that fender damage beat out during that last pit stop. So Jeremy Gardner, if he can get around Bontrager, might start creeping up on these guys. As we're watching this battle for the lead on the outside, I think that, there you go. It looks like McWhorter, that outside lane worked for him. Will Cofield give it up? He does, going into turn 1, and that is the smart thing to do here at Darlington.
Yep, Cofield deciding it's better to let McWhorter deal with this lap traffic than him. And, it looked like we had a little bit of a hot exit. 72 turns off the nose of the 53. We're still green. No, we are yellow now. Oh. What?
Yeah, that was the 12 car Ricky Sisk Jr. He was several laps down. Looked like, and just looks like clipped the rear quarter. We're going to go back and take a look. We're on board, it looks like, with McWhorter as he's coming up on this lap of traffic. That's Ricky Sisk Jr. just ahead of him. And you can see him try to get around. Ricky Sisk Jr. comes down, clips the front end of the 72, and just, that's lap traffic here at Darlington. Exactly what I mentioned about 20 laps ago, that this kind of thing could happen.
Cofield made the decision, but like mid-front stretch, because I think he saw this group coming and didn't want to have to deal with it. He tried to go to the inside there, but like Sisk ended up getting loose off of the exit of the corner after the contact, came down into the 72, and the 72 just had nowhere to go from there. He sent it into the corner to try and get around the lap traffic, and it ended up being his undoing.
Yeah, so, wow, what a tough break. So Cofield, I don't think he really sustained any damage from that. Just very little as we're watching cars head to pit lane. Cofield headed to pit lane. So looks like they're going to go down and maybe top these things off. I'm not sure why everybody's headed to pit lane. We were I guess we ran around 10 laps of green flag. So I guess these guys probably do want to get these Goodyears changed.
Yep, they got 2 more sets in the pits as of right now. They're going to take one. They're going to have one left for the end of the race, which would if you wanted to make a late race charge, if there's another late caution, I think you would bank them until then. But for the time being, I know that Cofield is gonna want a little less excitement from this point on, so he's just trying to get some new tires on there and step away once more.
Well, that's going to send McWhorter to the back as he's going to have to get that damage repaired and try to beat him. We're watching the race off pit lane. Cofield will have it. As we watch that pits time, Jeremy Gardner will come out second, it looks like, on that cycle of pits. So Jeremy Gardner, as we called out, started in 14th, moving his way up. You called it there, Jacob.
Yep, Bontrager rolled off third, Brandon Wallace, Tyler Rice, Stephen Davis, Judson Curtis. We haven't talked about him since the initial wreck on lap 2. Mark Whitley in the 77 rolls off 8th. Ashley in 9th, and Lucas Lyons rolling off 10th.
Whew, what an exciting race here at Darlington. Man, these guys are putting on a show like they did last week at California. I'm really impressed. Yeah, sure, we've had a couple of cautions, but for the most part, it's been some really good, clean racing. So unfortunate contact for McWhorter with the lap car, Ricky Sisk Jr. It's one of those things. Ricky Sisk was probably just trying to not collapse the wall, and probably a little bit nervous with the leaders coming up behind him. But yeah, well, he'll have some ground to make up here. It looks like I'm just trying to figure out where McWhorter is going to start after this. It looks like McWhorter's 2 laps down on pit lane, so really tough break for McWhorter.
Yep, he's still waiting out, trying to recover from that pretty hard hit he took to the inside wall.
Well, the lights are out.
Lined up. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say the lights are out atop the pace car. They're too wide. Cofield's going to lead him to the green flag. Jeremy Gardner now up front in second place with Craig Bontrager. Brandon Wallace and Tyler Rice wrapping out your top 5 as we're getting ready to go do some more green flag racing.
Pace car pulling them into turn 3. Getting ready to exit turn 4. It looks like Ricky Sisk is going to take the opt to go down pit road as opposed to restarting with these guys. Pace car is in. Cars are 2x2 lined up all the way back, and we are green flag racing once more at Darlington.
Yeah, Cofield gets a heck of a jump there, but that put pressure under Cofield as Bontrager gets to his inside. Now Gardner will get to the outside, get that position clear as Cofield. That allows Cofield to jump out with a nice hefty lead here. But Gardner is probably going to run up there and try to put the same pressure McWhorter was putting on him.
Yep, top 6 already stretched out single file as Jonathan Cofield starts to stretch it out even more. He's trying to step out like he did before. We got a slow car. That's Brandon Wallace to the inside. That's the 99. He's going to try and get it gathered up. He does, and he gets it back, but he's going to start hemorrhaging spots here. Yeah,
he's going to end up in the halfway point of the field here. He's probably going to drop close to 10th place after that. That was a tough slide, but he has managed to hang on to it for that 99. And looks like he's dropped back to 11th, so that cost him a little bit.
He's been consistently fast and all over the top 10 today, so I think he might try to make it up here shortly on the long run. As we see Mark Whitley trying to fight off the 17 of Lucas Lyons and get the position from the car in front of him. We got another yellow flag on track.
That's Dave Calvert in the 90 car. We'll have to see what happened there, but that brought out this caution here. And we'll go back at the replay here. We're looking at him going through 1 and 2 here. And, gets contact.
Oh,
that was a hard hit.
That was Jamie Libke that was involved in that as well. That's another SRP car with teammate of Ricky Sisk. Dave Calvert gets it rolling again. I think it looks like they might have just sent it a little too hard into the corner here. Yep, they're pushing. Oh, the 50 of Kyle Deering gets spun off the nose of the 90. That's what slowed him up so much. And then Lipke just keeps it in there, pushes up into the corner, and damn.
Yeah, Lipke trying to take advantage of that situation, it looked like, and didn't pay off for either of those drivers. So lesson learned for Lipke here at Darlington as we're looking at the 50 car and see exactly what happened here, who started this mayhem here going through the corner of 3 and 4. Currently, as they head down the front stretch, this incident happened in 1 and 2 here, so we'll check it out.
Drafting off of Daniel Parks here, steps it up into turn 1. Oh, it looks like he just backed up into the 71 and got loose off of the on exit there. Like just The back end stepped out as soon as he made contact.
Well, I don't know. I was looking at the 50, and it just looks like somebody came out of nowhere. We watch the 50 go, and he's checking up for cars in front of him. Yeah, and just behind him just gets rammed. I'm sure that it wasn't his intention to hit him like that. Probably didn't see all those cars checking up like that. But yeah, tough break for all those cars.
Yep, everybody taking time to either get it topped off or get those tires pushed back on it, as we see the 12 looking like they're trying to get one of their laps back here.
Well, Jacob, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do we have a Warrior spotlight this week?
Yes, we do. Our Warrior spotlight this week is going to be Hamza Khan. Hamza served in the U.S. Air Force for 6 years as a ground radio tech. He deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and was stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base, Idaho, and Osan Air Force Base, South Korea. We are proud to have him here in Goat Locker Racing. If you haven't seen the video of him getting the pictures of him getting the sim rig, it was very, very heartwarming. Pat took the trip. I believe it was him and Andrew Carnes that made the trip out to give him that sim rig, and it was great to see great to see everybody rallying around him as he came in, and we certainly gave him a warm welcome as soon as he came into Goat Locker.
It's very cool what Goat Locker does with these free sim rigs and Warrior Spotlight. What Goat Locker does for our veterans is just second to none. That's why we're all here at Goat Locker. We got to you and I are veterans of the service, and so we can really appreciate what these guys have been through. Pace car is going to dip off into pit lane. Anyway, glad to have Hamza on board. Jacob, take it away.
As they round through turn 4, we're going to watch them go 2x2 once again as they get into the restart zone, and Jonathan Cofield takes us to the green flag one more time, steps out to a massive lead again.
Yeah, that was quite a start. Cofield really backed him up and waited till the last minute to punch it there. Bontrager and Gardner get together a little bit. Bontrager's going to take that position just behind him. They have a little bit of contact there that sent Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner's looking back to the inside going into 3 and 4 and said, no, we're back under caution here.
Another pile up on the exit of turn 2. That's Bobby Bender in the 96, involved with the 1 of Zachary Tucker.
Bobby Bender bent a fender.
Is that what we're doing now? We're starting children's nursery rhymes?
It's dad joke time.
Oh,
we're going back and looking at the replay here, and he gets up against the wall, and just nowhere to go for that car behind him, who was involved in that last incident as well. So tough break for both those guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty snazzy looking machine too. He's got the Desert Digital on there. Scrapes a wall on the front stretch as well. Got the Eagle Globe and Anchor on the hood. Doesn't get a very good entrance into turn 1. Just tries to keep it back down. McWhorter passes to the inside of him there. And then on the exit of turn 2, just does not have it. Claps that wall something fierce. Oh, good evasion by the 12 of Ricky Sisk. And I'm not sure who that was to the inside dipping there.
Zachary Tucker. Zachary Tucker was the one that took the worst of it. We just happened to be in a bad spot there. You can see that tire's down on the left front. Obviously going to be headed to pit lane to get that tire replaced at the very least. So doesn't look like there's too much other damage, a little bit of damage on that same fender, but just that tire down, trying to limp that thing around.
Yep, just trying to pull it back, get as much as he can, because no, they haven't used their they're not one of the drivers that have used their fast repair to this point.
Well, we're starting to see a little bit of cautions. I think these guys know with 37 laps to go, the laps are closing in. Bontrager, that last battle there, Bontrager and Gardner, I thought that was going to really start lighting off here before that caution. So I expect when we take the green flag again that Gardner is now going to be down on the inside with Bontrager starting in second on the outside of our leader, who's Jonathan Cofield. Could be very interesting. I know Gardner probably says, okay, I'm going to try that same move that you did on me on that last restart. So the roles are going to be reversed.
Everybody that's up in the top 5 right now is no slouch. We've known them for at least a little bit at this point. Whitley is probably the newest guy to this fray, but he has taken almost every series he started in by storm. Bontrager knows how to win races. Gardner certainly knows how to win races. He's won championships. Lucas Lyons is a hard charger for any car that he drives. Everybody else in the top 10 is still in the hunt. You got Tyler Rice, Judson Curtis, Stephen Davis, George Jewell, and I want to give a shout out to Brock Price in the 43. He is having a great run, has kept it consistently in the top 10, and he is certainly drawing the attention of the viewers here, and is very, like, he might be a sleeper shot to win here later in the season.
Well, you talked about how good these drivers are up front. I mean, the way these guys are putting on a race tonight, I think they're all pretty darn good drivers. But Mark Whitley, you had to serve an EOL at the start of this thing, so he's up there in fourth. We talked about him earlier. At the start of the race, he had to drop back. We were wondering why he dropped back. Well, it was an EOL penalty. He's currently running in fourth, one of the faster guys out here, running alongside Jeremy Gardner.
All right, pace car's lights are off. It looks like there was a speeding penalty.
Yeah, it was Whitley with the speeding penalty. I'm sorry, that was what brought him back to the field. Anyway, we're about to go green flag racing. Wait for the flag man to drop that flag, and we are green. Cofield again getting that jump on the outside. Can Gardner get alongside Bontrager going into one? See if he can reverse that roll that I was talking about. Down on the inside, Gardner does take that position away from Bontrager. Can he keep it off the wall? He does. 17, Lucas Lyons follows him on through.
Pushes the exit of turn 2. Everybody starts to line up single file. We got one loose further back. Some more wall contact, but everybody in the top 5 is starting to straighten out as Mark Whitley pushes to the inside. Stephen Davis gets loose off of the that's Tyler Rice in the 0. I got the number flipped. It was the 06 of Tyler Rice bumped into the back of Mark Whitley and unsettled his car, and he's dropping back like a rock.
Yeah, we're still green flag, but he lost a ton of positions there as he gets himself sorted out. Back up front, Lucas Lyons there, leading a pack of cars. He got by Bontrager right now. Mark Whitley currently running in 5th, so Whitley lost a spot there in all that exchange. As we watch Lucas Lyons go into turn 1 here, it looks like. Yeah, coming around 3 and 4. Sorry about that.
Yep, Lyons had a loose snap turn 2. Mark Whitley had a loose snap turn 4, trying to get to the bottom of Jeremy Gardner. Had to catch it to keep it up, and Bontrager is going to try and take a look at the 77 now. 77 planted to the back bumper of Jeremy Gardner as we exit turn 2.
Yeah, and you can see they're battling hard right now with 33 laps to go as we ride on board. Mark Whitley seeing if he can run the outside here on Jeremy Gardner. We watched him earlier run that outside lane. Jeremy Gardner's not going to let him have it yet as we watch that Jeremy Gardner get up against the wall there, but he keeps it mostly clean there as they go into 1.
Yep, as these two keep fighting, they're ever so slightly inching closer and closer. As one of our reporters has told us, Lucas Lyons only took 2 tires on that last pit stop. So his left sides are the same as he's been running on for the past couple of stints. His right sides are the ones that's changed, and that's what's keeping him within a second and a half with Jonathan Cofield trying to step out again.
Well, Lucas Lyons was running up here in this position early in the race, and we find him here late in the race, running in 2nd place. As we're looking at Lucas Lyons going through 1 and 2, Lucas Lyons was getting into the wall early in the race, but he might have settled down a little bit. Looking at our leaders about 2.5 seconds ahead of these guys, and now the battle behind Lucas Lyons, Jeremy Gardner, that's kind of got itself sorted out as those 2 guys get single file for now. And we can see if Jeremy Gardner, Mark Whitley, or Craig Bontrager can run down Lucas Lyons and maybe make an approach on our leader here.
Yeah, Bontrager looking on Whitley, looking on Gardner right here for the 3rd position. They all take it into turn 1. We're up in that top line. Bontrager dropping back a little bit. Everybody exiting turn 2. Keeps it clean as we continue this drag race all the way back down the Boeing backstretch.
Yeah, looking at 77, Mark Whitley staying in the tire tracks of Jeremy Gardner in that black 69 car as they come through the corner here and down the, I want to say that's the front stretch. It is the front stretch. It's getting dark. I was in the dark all night last night there, Jacob, so my eyes weren't doing too well. But tonight we're going to finish this I would say before the lights come on, but there is no lights here at Darlington.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right
there
now.
Is. Yeah, I see it now.
I think your eyes might need to adjust a little more. Mark Whitley still staying in the tire tracks of the 69 as we wrap around turns 3 and 4 back onto the front stretch. We got less than 30 laps to go. Jonathan Cofield still out in front by a second.
You can see Jeremy Gardner there just brushes the wall on the exit of the corner as we ride along with Mark Whitley as they go through 1 and 2 down to the bottom, just trying to manage the track right now. You don't want to wear out your stuff. You still got little less than 30 laps to go, and if you need to make a run on that leader, and if we stay green, you don't want to abuse those tires too much. Lucas Lyons ahead of these two guys, just doing a phenomenal job on those two tires in that 17 Camaro.
So I have a question. How long do you think, if you are trying to run the leader down, how long do you think it should take compared to everybody else that's running? How long do you think it should take to get back to Cofield? Like, what laps do you need to run to get back to this guy?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how you've been managing your tire. The one thing I'll say about Cofield is he's been so dominant tonight. You know, it's going to be hard to say if you haven't been watching what he's been doing all night with his car. And when you're in front like that, you can kind of control the wear on your car. But, you know, with about 20 laps to go, you know, I'm going to see if I can start reeling him in a little bit, maybe putting a little more pressure on my tires. Just trying to take it easy now so I can squeeze my way back up front.
And we're looking at the lap times right now. It looks like Cofield ran a little under a tenth faster than third and fourth, as we got to fight for fourth, or we got to fight for fifth, the fourth position. Bontrager trying to look to the inside of Whitley, and nothing doing here. He's going to stretch it back out to the front stretch, tuck in behind that 77 as we keep going.
Yeah, Gardner there, you can see him has approached that 17 car, Lucas Lyons here. Lucas Lyons on 2 tires, Jeremy Gardner on 4 older tires. But Jeremy Gardner now looking to the inside as they go into 3 and 4 here. That sun is down now, so he's got some visibility. He gets down a little bit on the apron, down on the inside, and it looks like he might have him cleared by the exit, and he does give that position to Jeremy Gardner.
I think it might be go time for Jeremy Gardner, for Mark Whitley. Once they get past the 17 to Lucas Lyons, Whitley pushes up in the corner, might have made some door contact with the 17 there. Still trying to keep away from the contact on the exit. Oh, Lyons claps the wall, makes heavy contact on the wall, exiting turn 2.
We're still green, but you can see 17's got lost all those positions now with some damage as a 99 of Brandon Wallace goes by. Brandon Wallace currently running in the 7th position, so that's going to move Lucas Lyons all the way back to 7th with some possible damage on that car.
Yep, he's limping. You can see it. He's starting to slow down a little bit. That right front must have some pretty heavy damage after that contact, as Gardner managed to take off 2/10 to Cofield that time by.
Well, that allowed our top 5 to kind of get single file stretched out about 5-6 car lengths from each other as we're looking at the battle for the lead with Gardner 1.2 seconds behind. And the question is we're going to be close to 20 to go here in a couple of laps. And did he save his equipment enough to be able to run our leader down?
Oh, we're watching Jonathan Cofield start to blink out a little bit there. Some more network between everybody there. It looks like Cofield, wow, 9.4 seconds. I'm sure that's not right.
Yeah, that's one of those things with netcode. You know, sometimes it'll throw the timing off, but we're still riding along Cofield. That connection's cleaned up. Jeremy Gardner just back behind him. You can see 1.3 seconds behind, 1.2, as they go into the last 2 corners here, or 1 and 2, I should say. And Gardner is closing that just barely. So next time by, Cofield will be given 20 to go by his crew as they go into 3 and 4.
Yep, ever so slightly. And he's got the lap car of Bobby Bender sitting out just in front of him here, too. How he manages that is going to determine how far Gardner is able to reel him back in. 20 to go this time by. Jonathan Cofield still still a second and a 10th over Jeremy Gardner in second.
Yeah, and Bender was involved in that incident before, I think, right before our leaders there. So Bender has probably some damage unless he got his quick repair there. But it doesn't look like Bender is that slow of a lap car. And I imagine there'll be some courtesy when our leader gets up to him. But, you don't want to be slowed. And there's that courtesy I'm talking about, as Bender goes to the inside and doesn't want to slow up the leader. But is Jeremy Gardner going to catch him in the corner? It doesn't look like he is. So Bender doing the right thing, letting these guys race it out for the last 20 laps.
Yep, Bender, if he is courteous, he's going to drop to the bottom here. Jeremy, nearly takes him all the way down the back, takes him on a ride down the backstretch, but Bender does get out of the way. Gardner starting to try and track down Jonathan Cofield once again.
Yeah, that gap's opened up a little bit, and I'm not sure if that was the lap traffic that Gardner's had to deal with, but he's dropped back 0.2 of a second now from the last time we were looking at this gap. Mark Whitley, just behind him, 2.5 seconds back from our leader. So Mark Whitley kind of just trying to hang on too. Everybody seems to be managing the same gap.
Yep, everybody's starting to even out a little bit, try and conserve what you can for the final run to the finish here. We don't have many laps left. I'm sure everybody's eager to go, but wants to keep it just copacetic for the time being before they go all out.
Absolutely. Still looking at our leader, Bontrager going through 1 and 2. Jeremy Gardner just behind him. You can see that black car off in the distance there as he goes through 1 and 2. On the exit here, down the backstretch, headed into 3 and 4. And that gap really hasn't changed. So if Gardner's got anything for him, is he saving? That's going to be the question. Is Cofield saving? Or maybe
sure
Mark Whitley. Mark Whitley is the big saver back there, but he's also lost 0.1 of a second since last time I looked at him as well.
I'm sure Jeremy Gardner is not saving a thing as we watched him make some slight contact, exiting turn 4, trying to get him down the front. Oh, he is pushing as hard as he possibly can. Darlington stripes on every side of the track, trying to track down the 53 of Jonathan Cofield. He is pushing so hard to try and get back to that back bumper.
Yeah, and he has made up a little time, 1/10 anyway, since the last time I looked at him. So he is pushing hard, but is he wearing his equipment out? And if he's wearing his equipment out, will he fall prey to Mark Whitley just behind him?
Yep, Cofield has the advantage of distance, but Jeremy Gardner's advantage is the lap traffic that Cofield just ran into. And I'm sure that, like the courtesy is there again. That looks like it's Kevin Price in the 80 machine. Steps out to the bottom, but it also doesn't help that Jeremy Gardner is going to be pushing back up once more.
Yeah, and that gap didn't really change, so courteous thing by that lap car. Jeremy Gardner going into 1 and 2. Can he clear this lap car on the exit and not get woed up is the question. You can see him exiting turn 2 here, and you can see the lap car go to the inside just like before. Mirror image of before, but you know what I do notice is Mark Whitley is creeping into the picture of Jeremy Gardner. So Jeremy Gardner might be trying to hold on to second place at this point as he's lost a couple tenths on our leader.
Yep, he has backed it down, and it looks like we have lost about 0.5 of a second to Jonathan Cofield from what it was earlier. The lap traffic has been hurt in the P2 position more than anything thus far.
As we watch Gardner go through 1 and 2, and on the exit, he's been just barely scraping that wall, kept it clean there, but you can see that white and blue car, purple car, 77 just behind him, getting closer and closer, and Jeremy Gardner is going to be seeing that come in the mirror. So Jeremy Gardner, I think, is going to be put on defense here shortly, let alone trying to run down the leader.
Meanwhile, Craig Bontrager watching Mark Whitley creep ever so closer to the back end of Jeremy Gardner, and he is looking for a podium spot as well to see these two start fighting with each other so he can just capitalize on both.
Yeah, Bontrager has had a kind of a quiet night. We've seen him involved in a little scuffle early in this race, but having a great night, running in 4th, closing in on the back of Mark Whitley, hoping these guys get to battle and maybe he can capitalize on it. We're not quite to 10 to go, so he's got some time. Another driver we haven't talked about, Judson Curtis, back there quietly running in 5th. That's our top 5. Judson Curtis, kind of really haven't mentioned him a bunch tonight, but having a great night. I think he's kept that car mostly clean and started about where he is right now. Started in 6th, currently running in 5th, having a great night.
Yep, he spun from 6th on lap 2, ended up having to take his fast repair due to contact on the inside wall, and has just kept it clean the entire rest of this race. Worked his way back up to the 5th position, and he's looking to take home a solid top 5.
Well, back up front, at least with Jeremy Gardner anyway, I'm looking at the times now. He has made some time back on our leader, so Cofield got slowed down either by lap traffic or tires, but Gardner is starting to close it back down in, but doesn't have a lot of time to do it here at Darlington, and he's going to need to find a whole lot more speed to get back up to that leader. And Mark Whitley is still holding that gap right now. It hasn't really closed in on Gardner. I think Mark Whitley right now is looking at his rearview mirror with Bontrager behind him.
Yep, Craig Bontrager starting to try and track down that 77. Jeremy Gardner still he pulled a second on the 77 last time we had that ticker up, but the race right now is for third. Craig Bontrager is within half a second of Mark Whitley. He's trying to take a narrower line down to the bottom of 3 and 4, trying to get to the back bumper of the 77 to get some momentum on the front stretch.
Yeah, and as they go down the front stretch, he thought about taking a peek, but he's probably going to let him go here. Going through 1 and 2 is got some lap traffic down on the apron, which is also scary. If you're a lap car and you drive down to the apron like that, you got to hope that it doesn't go by. They go by another lap car, being very courteous, these lap cars, letting our leaders race this thing out. And like you said, we are looking at the battle for third position right now, that last podium spot between Mark Whitley and Craig Bontrager.
Yeah, Bontrager was just under 2/10 faster than Whitley on that last time around. He's trying to track down that 77 car. 77 might have made a little bit of a wiggle on exit to where the 49 is right up against his bumper. They go through 1, wrapping around into turn 2, making the exit of turn 2. Bontrager starting to get a little more, trying to get a little more on exit there, but Whitley starts to pull away a little bit further.
Yeah, you can see the sparks come off the wall there where Whitley just made some slight contact on the exit of that last corner, but Bontrager down on the inside, trying to look for any weakness he can see as we're closing in. Next time by, our leader will be given 5 to go, and looking for any way, see if he can get some clean air on that nose and try to get around that 77, who's been really tough the last 10 laps or so.
But the 49 and 77 have made it quite the show back here for the third position. Mark Whitley gets loose on exit. Bontrager does not try to make a move, instead opting to go and do it for turn 3. Sticks his nose in, doesn't get the rotation that he needs to, just keeps it planted a line lower than the 77. 77 gets loose on exit, tries to get it back next to the 49 of Bontrager. Bontrager trying to stick it into turn 1.
Great heads up driving by Bontrager. He's seen that Whitley got loose, but Whitley's going to challenge back on the outside, stuffs it in there, manages to hold on that position, but Bontrager, great heads up driving, seeing Whitley got loose and pulled it down even further.
Meanwhile, lap traffic has brought the lead down to 0.7 of a second. Jeremy Gardner starting to try and track down Jonathan Cofield again as we are slowed down. 5 laps to go here at Darlington.
And this is where you got a situation where lap cars are probably trying to race each other and probably not going to get exactly out of the leader's race as they've got their own race going on. And that's allowed Gardner to catch up. Oh, you got a car just in front, hits the wall. Right.
Oh! Massive contact for Alan Smith. Why are we... Okay, we are yellow now. Massive contact off of the exit of 2. Alan Smith nails the inside wall and comes back up the track. He didn't have any control over that at all. He tows, and everybody is scrambling to get to the exit here. Oh.
Right, we're looking at Alan Smith. Gets a little sideways, hits the wall, down on the inside, retaining wall, back up the track, gets into that lap car there. Gardner gets a little bit of contact from another lap car just behind him. Gardner, who is our second place, was almost involved in that wreck as we ride along with Jeremy Gardner.
He definitely made some solid contact with the cars that were involved here. He's just taking his line, like watching everything happen in front of him. He's just trying to track down Cofield as they run in front. We're gonna see the double aught hit the outside wall, clap the inside wall, and then come right back up the track. He makes contact with the 90 of Dave Calvert. They managed to barely squeeze through everything else, and it looked like Calvert ended up going back up the track, almost hit the 77 and 49s trying to battle for it too.
Wow, what a change of events right here at the end of the race. We're watching Dave Calvert go around, back up the track, and yeah, man, scary. Anyway, our leaders are on pit lane. It looks like all takers, probably for tires at least, and maybe Jeremy Gardner with that damage will take his quick repair, and we're going to have a green-white checker attempt here coming up.
Yes, we are. It looks like everybody settles into their pit box. Jeremy Gardner looking like he's taking 4 tires here. Mark Whitley, Craig Bontrager, Jonathan Cofield all taking 4 tires. And it looks like Judson Curtis might not have pitted under this.
Yeah, Justin Curtis in that 29 car that we were talking about having that quiet night. You'd mentioned, I didn't realize that he was involved early in that race and managed to run back up to 4th, but now he finds himself in the lead. The car ahead of him there, I believe that's Jacob not Jacob.
That's Ricky Sisk.
Yeah.
Yep, Judson Curtis is out of tires, so he felt like he just did not need to go down. Just
Obviously.
needs to put it in position to get as much as he can out of this restart.
And this is some scary business too, because those leaders know that he's out there on those old tires, and the guy on the outside is probably gonna have it here to get by him on this restart. But everybody behind that 29 car is gonna be biting their nails on this restart, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
But anyway, Judson Curtis does find himself in the lead, so he is going to lead a lap. So, started up top in the 6th place, had the incident early in the race, finds himself leading this thing, and you never know. This is Darlington. If he can get that car rolling, you never know. He might be able to hang on to this, but it's going to be tough. Those guys that are up on his back bumper and alongside of him, he's got our Jonathan Cofield has pretty much led most of this race. Is going to be very tough to beat.
Yep, Cofield opting for that, or he's taking the outside. Judson Curtis opts for the inside line on this restart. Cofield's going to have a hard charge, and Mark Whitley behind him. Jeremy Gardner's going to have to deal with the slower Curtis on this restart. We might see some carnage here on the restart, but it is going to be one heck of a show, Ken.
We do have 2 green-white checker attempts, so if they can't get it done this time, we'll re-rack, restack. But take us to the green flag there, Jacob. Hopefully this is the last one.
Pace car off of turn 3 off of turn 4. Everybody into the restart zone. Curtis gets it going. 54 into the wall. Massive pile up starting behind everybody as Jonathan Cofield takes the nose into the lead. Jonathan Cofield gets to the lead before the caution comes out, so he will have choice on the ensuing restart. Jeremy Gardner falling back to 4th now. Judson Curtis on the outside, and that's the 54. Making some heavy contact to the outside. That's Chad Ashley. There was a stack up on the top line there, and it looks like he just spun his tires.
Yeah, spun the tires, and that happens, especially if he isn't on fresh tires. It's very easy to do. And just, man.
That's Bontrager in the middle there.
Wow, what a tough break for Bontrager. He's having such a good night.
Solid run all night and just gets caught up right at the end.
Riding along with Chad Ashley here. You can see the field stacking up, and then he just spins the tires, gets on that outside wall, and then comes down the field, grabs a couple cars along with him, and you can just see everybody stacking up behind him and just nowhere to go.
Yeah, McWhorter making some solid contact with a few different cars in there. Not the run that he's looking for, is more cars piling in. Look like the 12 assists got into it with the 96 again as well. Brock Price having a solid run all night. Gets caught up behind the 54. Looks like the 54 gassed it up, made contact, hit the brakes, and then just tried getting back into the gas again. Unfortunate.
Well, we are going to re-rack and restack. This will be our last green-white checker attempt. So, you know what? All in all, Jacob, it's been a really fantastic night of racing. We've had some late race cautions, some big incidents, but you know what? It's been a heck of a show here at Darlington. I wasn't expecting it, but a pretty darn good show, and it isn't over yet, folks.
Absolutely. We've had some good green flag runs. We've had some good battles between 3, 4, 5 cars at times, and we have gotten it down to the wire here. We have 1 green-white checkered remaining for Jonathan Cofield to try and take this back-to-back win.
So I'm looking at YouTube chat here and seeing what the fellers are saying, and they're talking about, it looks like Shasta Jewel is talking about it's going to be an interesting finish. Yeah, I have no doubt. And then Jamie Limke is talking about how spicy the soapbox is going to be tonight. So we'll see. We'll see if that's true. But I imagine there might be a little bit of soapbox chatter tonight. What do you think there, Jacob?
I think that the soapbox is going to be pretty popping tonight. There's some people that are going to be really upset with the outcome of this race. And as you're seeing on the screen right now, it is your final green-white checkered. The next flag will end the race, no matter if it's yellow, white flag into checkered. Man, what a wild ride.
Yeah, so that 29 is going to start on the outside, and I guarantee you Jeremy Gardner down there on the inside running in 3rd is very happy that 29 is on the outside, because that's going to give Gardner a chance. If he can get a good restart here, unfortunately for the 77 is he's going to have to find a hole to get by that 29 car on the start, and that 29 car out there on old tires. So Justin Curtis is just trying to hang on, trying to keep that top 5 on those old tires. Everybody around him's on fresh. So, it is, as YouTube chat would say, it is going to be a spicy restart.
Judson Curtis is on 49 lap old tires, starting in the second position for this restart here. This is going to be very interesting from the front runner's perspective. Pace car is pulled off one more time. The field lines up 2 by 2, pulling back into the restart zone. Jonathan Cofield gives the word, green flag for the final time at Darlington.
Yeah, Justin Curtis got a little tire slip there. The 77 had to back out. Jeremy Gardner's clear now. Can Jeremy Gardner run that leader down? Jonathan Cofield next time by will have the white flag. So Jeremy Gardner's only got a couple laps to go.
Contact further back in the field. Yellow is out. That was George Jewell loose exiting turn 2.
Wow. What a finish. We're going to go back. Jonathan Cofield will cross the line as tonight's winner. Jeremy Gardner finishes second. Mark Whitley with that top 3rd position.
Yep, they've still got 1 lap to wrap around, but it is official. Jonathan Cofield taking the top spot. Jeremy Gardner fighting back from taking the faster pair earlier on in the race, finishing P2. Mark Whitley in P3. And man, what a show tonight for everybody here that's watching the Invets Xfinity Series.
Yeah, we're waiting for him to come around 3 and 4 here and take it officially here as the checkered flag is out. And you can see we're riding alongside here with the 53 of our about-to-be race winner. Jonathan Cofield led most of the night, pretty much where he wanted to be all night. Had a mid-race incident there with McWhorter, which he let McWhorter by. And that turned out to be the race-winning move, I believe, Jacob. Just let McWhorter by and deal with the lap traffic. That allowed Cofield to avoid that incident and allowed that victory to happen tonight.
Yes, indeed. Checker flag is flown, and the Bama Bullet goes back-to-back. Jonathan Cofield with back-to-back wins here in the Invets Xfinity Series. Once he gets past back to the start-finish line, we're going to watch him burn it down.
And you can see Jeremy Gardner back there bumping into the back of him there, kind of congratulating him there as we see some of the cars coming up to congratulate our race winner. But yeah, heck of a run, heck of a race by these guys. It got a little messy at the end, but man, I enjoyed this race thoroughly tonight. Justin Curtis, he managed to hang on to that top 5. So Justin Curtis on those old tires managed to hang on, did a great job, not totally losing it in front of all the leaders and still coming away with the top 5.
51 he ran half the race on the tires that he had on to end it, and that is a symbol of, I don't know if it's stubbornness or just keeping with it, making sure that you can make the most out of what you got. But Jonathan Cofield takes it pole to flag, burning it down here at Darlington.
Celebrations are in order. One of my favorite places to win is this track. It is so satisfying. You feel like you accomplished something. This track is so difficult. I want to say it's the most difficult oval race that you can do in NASCAR. And to get a victory here, there is nothing more special than getting this win.
Yes, indeed. We'll be right back with our final unofficial standings, and then we're going to get an interview with our top 3 finishers. Stay with us.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back live here at Darlington with our unofficial race results. Give it to Jonathan Cofield, our race winner. Pretty much led this entire thing after the start. Never looked back, able to get it done. Jeremy Gardner putting pressure on, finishes second. Mark Whitley will round out your top three. Stephen Davis will finish in fourth, with Justin Curtis finishing in fifth. Brandon Wallace in the 99 machine brings it home sixth, with Zachary Tucker finishing in seventh behind him. Tyler Rice will finish in eighth. Craig Bontrager, who ran up front all night, unfortunately will get ninth place. Not bad, still in the top 10, but we watched him run up front much of the night tonight as well. Thaddeus Friel will wrap out your top 10.
Duncan Faw takes it home 11th. Frederick Seagraves Jr. pulls it home 12th. Brock Price, after a good night, finishes 13th. Colton Sisk in 14th. Daniel Parks in 15th. George Jewell, after that late wreck, finishes 16th. Joseph McWhorter finishes 17th. Dave Calbert in 18th. Bobby Bender in 19th. And Kevin Price rounds out your top 20.
Chad Ashley will finish in 21st. Gary Wright will finish in 22nd. Kyle Deering brings it home with a 21st or 23rd place finish. Samuel Yosef will finish in 24th. Devontae Drain will finish in 25th, with Lucas Lyons. Tough break for him tonight after running up front. Finishes all the way back in 26th. Alan Smith will finish in 27th. Scott Yancey will finish in 28th. Ricky Sisk Jr. will finish in 29th, with James Kaufman rounding out your top 30.
31st is Jamie Lipke. Jeremiah Holt in 32nd. Aaron Yancey finishes 33rd. Jason Kristen in 34th. Noah Hogard in 35th. Casey Jones 36th. Rob Kubat and Chuck Phelps did not take the track.
All right, Jacob. So why don't we bring up our race winner and see what he has?
A copy.
Yeah, I got you.
What an amazing race. It was a great race for all of our viewers here. You led from the most of it, so you didn't get to see a lot of the action happen. What was your game plan coming in, and how'd you put it together tonight?
Yeah, just try to qualify up front and stay up front. A lot of fast guys in this league. The Xfinity car is not my favorite car. Haven't drove it in a long time. Goat Locker is probably the first time I've drove it in 6 months or so. But usually I really hate this car. I can't never drive it. But figured I need to get on here and do a little learning and drive the car more. I've kind of been surprising myself how good I've been running compared to a lot of the guys in here.
Yes, sir. 8 cautions tonight, and you were up front for a majority of them. You're one of only 6 drivers to not finish the race, having used their fast repair. Just keeping it clean, getting through that lap traffic. Do you think that one thing I really want to ask you is that move to let McWhorter by with that group of lap traffic that was coming up? Did you just feel that in instinct on the front stretch, or did that just play out to your benefit?
I was going to try to make it play out to my benefit. I was, not going to try to race him there. Darlington can really wear the tires out if you stay side by side for too long. didn't want everybody else behind us catching us. So I figured I'd just let him go wear his stuff out and have to fight the lap traffic. Once again this week, me and Joe got into it a little bit. I think I dove down to go 3 wide. I figured we'd get past them lap cars, but I guess they ended up side by side. I don't know if it was 4 wide or one come down. I'll have to go back and look at it. But once again, I have to apologize to Joseph McWhirter. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but we seem to make contact again. I really hate that, but yeah, the lap traffic was it was pretty rough tonight. I kept catching them in the wrong spot. It seemed every now and then I'd catch them in the right spot, but all in all, good race. I love Darlington. It's probably one of my favorite racetracks.
Yes, sir. Pulled a flag, 103 laps led. Who do you have to thank for putting you on top of the podium?
Now, of course, you guys doing the broadcast. Everybody at V Speed, everybody at Goat Locker really love what they do. Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, just everybody in this league, man. I know Patrick and all of them have been going to these shows and they get new guys in here, new veterans. It's really awesome, and I stand beside, really stand behind their mission statement. And Cofield Asphalt Refinish and Cofield Supply and Service, and just all my teammates at Bandits.
Yes, sir. Back-to-back wins. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring our second place finish. Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, you got a copy?
Sir.
I'm trying to move too many people. I get to talk to you 2 nights in a row. How'd that happen? So you're going to have to talk me through that 14th to 2nd. How'd you get that done?
Hey, I told you last night I was an oval guy.
Well, you're also a road guy, so don't cut yourself short.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of choked qualifying. I rubbed the wall on my second lap, so that killed my whole qualify session. But I don't know if starting off there was a big delay. Everybody taking off, saying, "Oh, I gained like 4 spots right there," and then I just tried to hold my own pace, try to save tire, not push it too early, which is what I typically do around here. This is one of my best tracks, so I kind of know how to manage it and all that. And then I made a big mistake on lap 20 and scrubbed the wall and honestly about ended my race, but good rebound from there. Good run to the finish. Hate the cautions flew the way they did. I think it killed me there with 5 to go catching Cofield, but you'll have that.
Well, at least, that was going to be the second question I was going to ask you. The first one was going to be that damage you had on lap 20 and how you were coping with that. I think you were battling pretty hard with Lucas Lyons, and you guys almost got together, and I want to say you got into the wall a little bit there in 1 and 2. But more importantly there, we had a guy out there on older tires towards the end of that race on the restart. So on the first green-white checkers, you had Justin Curtis in the 29 car ahead of you there, and I was thinking, that's got to be nerve-wracking. You got to know that he's on old tires and he's ahead of you, and you're racing for a win. How do you approach those situations?
Sit back, hang on, and hope for the best. I mean, it's either he's going to take the leader out or the leader's going to get by and he's going to take me out. It's going to go one way or the other. But I mean, honestly, he held it pretty well. I think he throttled off really good, so he didn't kill the wall or one of us. So props to him for holding his line. But I mean, you also have the thing too where, he could get run over going into turn 1. So you never know how that's going to go. So I was kind of preparing myself for a good run to get to Cofield right there. But unfortunately, we had another caution.
Well, you did have a great run, finishing second. Who do you have to thank for getting you this podium tonight?
Pat and Jamie, always at GLR, Jam Printing and Promotions, Invet for putting on the series. Of course, y'all guys up in the broadcast booth, Alexander PCs, and my guys at Premier Racing Setups.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. We will see you next week at Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
And last but not least, I'm here talking with our third place finisher, Mr. Mark Whitley. You got a copy?
I got you.
It was a bit of an up and down day for you running this race. We saw, I think that you had the best one-on-one battles with everybody moving up through. We saw you challenging Cofield at one point. We saw you and Gardner go back and forth with it. You and Craig Bontrager tore it up toward the back half of this race. Battling back from getting mired further in that pack, did you just have to just wait it out, or were you trying to push back to the front?
Yeah, I got a speeding penalty. Didn't even realize until I left the pits. Still getting used to this new UI. I was pushed the limits a little bit too far trying to get spots on pit roads. It was so hard to pass. I feel like this track, it's If you try to push it too hard, it'll bite you in the butt. So it was mainly trying to stay patient, pick my spots. You just, back there, back in the pack, people, I am not gonna say they're slow, but most of the time they're not taking the optimal line. So it was just like, trying to take my time to, just nice and easy. Especially off of two, was trying to really make sure I got a run off of two, because it was really easy to make passes down the back straightaway if you got the run. Otherwise, you were side by side, and side by side here is nerve wracking. So was trying to make sure I got all my passes done before the corner, and I think I had to drive it in a little bit deeper than I wanted to a couple of times to get clear. And then me and Bontrager there at the end, and I ran it a little bit too hard at the end of that run trying to catch Jeremy and the leader. The whole race seemed like he was really good at saving his tire, and I was holding on, trying everything I could and make sure I didn't wreck myself, but I just wanted to try to stay in front of him. Then we both about got wrecked from that big stuff that happened on the back straightaway. I'm not really sure what happened, but I just know I saw one car coming at the track, and I had to Tokyo drifted into 3 trying to get by him without getting clipped. So it's just one of those things that I felt like we were probably third fastest car most of the night. Didn't really have like outright winning speed, but thought maybe I could save some tire. It just seemed like we couldn't really go anywhere. So we were just where we were the whole night. Once we were back up front, we didn't really lose any ground, but we didn't really gain any either.
Yep, and that's one of the topics that I wanted to bring up is the lap traffic for the leaders and just traffic in general. We saw at the beginning of the race, everybody strung out, everybody got into their groove, tried to make sure that they were running before they wanted to start making moves to try and either advance position or try and challenge the guys in front of them. Do you think that if it started going in a little bit further green as opposed to how it went, do you think you would have had a little bit better shot?
Maybe, like I said, that first run there, Joe was running second. Some laps I'd catch him. I got pretty close one time, and dirty air a little bit got me a little tight, and we kept having lap traffic. And at the end of that run, Bontrager was right on my tailpipe too. So I was going to pit around halfway if it went green. I'm not really sure what Cofield and the rest of them had planned, but I think it'd have been interesting. Lap traffic played a huge part of the battle up front. Seemed like, at least from my point of view, Cofield caught them great spots the whole night, and me, everybody else were sitting there catching them probably the worst spots we could, and he was, we kept losing time to him from it. So it's hard to say because it's just one of those things, just a matter of where you catch them. So it's pretty much all luck based, I think. So we all got to deal with him. So it's he just dealt with them better.
Yes, sir. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium?
Big shout out Brantley over at Harpoon Design. All these amazing paint schemes he does for me. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. If you need one made, he can get one made really quick. My other sponsor, Jawa.gg. They're the #1 online gaming marketplace for gamers by gamers. If you're looking for a good deal on a new setup, or if you just want to upgrade, they got you covered over there. Great buyer and seller protections if you need to sell some of your stuff too. All you guys for the league, the broadcast, iRacing, MK Fire Design, SimMotion. I'm blanking. There was one more and I forgot. Just everybody at this league, been a great show, great fun, all the different divisions we run here. And one final shout out, one of my buddies over there at Harpoon, Vector. He always tunes in these broadcaster races, even though he doesn't race himself. So I appreciate him tuning in.
Yes, sir. Another top 3 for you. Thank you for your time.
Sounds good.
Well, Jacob, what an exciting night here at Daytona. Next week, we're at probably my favorite track, this one being second, but Milwaukee next week, flat tracking. It's going to be another one of those barn burners, I think, next week. These guys are putting on a heck of a show. Looking really forward to it.
Yes, sir. It is going to be a bit of a change of pace because we'll be getting smaller tracks every week, and we're ultimately going to get to the mile in Milwaukee.
Well, let's not forget our sponsors as we get ready to tune out tonight. Invets, helping vets in Indiana. And this race was also brought to you by Lincoln Tech, putting your potential to work. And Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. On behalf of myself and
Jacob Linky,
And Eddie Smith in the booth in production. And then we got Dougie Beard on cameras tonight. Want everybody to have a great night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.